I didn't understand this soft species talking to the head of the United Worlds Council, asking for a seat on their Security Council. It's not that they did not have a solid argument, that security affected them all, and if they could be asked to provide soldiers to support a war effort, then they needed to have a vote on the matter. It's that I didn't understand why they pushed for it. Like I said, I didn't understand this soft species talking to the head of the United World Council about having a seat on the Security Council. They didn't have forms like the rest, especially the regions who changed from war form to love form, depending on what they were doing. Sigh, they didn't even have engineering form where they could win wars just by having better weapons, but not better soldiers. I had a talk with their ambassador. She had soft, sorrowful eyes that made her look with pity on anything she cast her eyes on. Human, why don't you just tell your people that they can join the United World Council and have a seat there, but we would never allow them to have a say on security matters the way things are, I said. The Earth ambassador looked down sadly. My people would never accept those terms, and they would probably riot, she said. I don't know how I could control the situation. Is that a fact? I asked her. Yes, sadly it is, she said. What would you do when the kind of people who would join your security decide they will join the other side of a protest and come fighting? I didn't know what to say. In no other part of the galaxy were there rulers with such protests still wanting a seat on the council. They had all piped down. Now, here was Earth with its unruly population, no forms, no exoskeleton, requesting to be allowed to the hallowed council. It was time for a planet to know what was where. I went to the planet and faced their national leaders. They didn't even have a supreme Earth leader or continental leaders. All the power was in their or something country leaders. I would only deal with them like this for so long. I called the meeting and told them that the next time they requested for membership in the United World Security Council and a right to vote, they would get a response that showed them what it truly meant to be on the Security Council. One of their leaders stood up and asked if it was a threat, because if it was, they would not take that threat lying down. I scoffed at the stupid soft one being defiant. Strength was for those of carapace and keratin, exoskeletons and emperors. Earth's dominant species had none of those, and it needed to stop being so defiant. It would take it nowhere but to the bottom of the list of those the strong ones cared for. An Australian called for war with those still refusing Earth a vote in the Security Council. I didn't care either. I had gone there to give a warning, not to my benefit, but theirs. If they wouldn't heed it, then there was no position for this dumb planet on the United Worlds Council even. A week passed on Earth before the words of the Australian were heard by the heads of the Security Council. Earth's potential security representative, the Shadow Security Ambassador, was called to the United Worlds Security Council. He was told to stop with the protests, and he decided to tell them to go to hell. That's when we decided to drop the anvil on the planet. Durax, viewed as the strongest, didn't care for this soft planet spoiling for a fight so badly. They would get one. Its leader, Vingax, called for the support of those in the United World Council to teach this planet a lesson, and he got supporters. The war with Earth was on. Fire and brimstone rained down on planet Durax and its allies. Earth did not just attack planet Durax, but all its allies too, those too weak to vote in the Security Council, but had pledged troops to its cause. Earth responded with such ferocity that it did not just push Durax and its allies back, but it also managed to bombard their cities and have them waving white flags, as they allowed not only Earth, but all the weaker planets to have a vote on security matters. I didn't think I would see it. But those soft human critters who never changed form were always in war form. It didn't matter when or where. That's why they never feared those always switching forms. More than that, their lack of a carapace made them keep cool, and after the first few weeks, they made the war an endurance game no one could keep up with. That was the start of comprehending Earth's capabilities. What scared the other planets the most was when they learned that they did not get a joint response from all the Earthlings. Only those from Australia fought, since they were the ones who got the rest of Earth's people into the quagmire. That being said, one continent was all that was needed to take on all the other opposing planets in the United Worlds Council. When an Earth leader says they are afraid of annoying their people, take their word for it. They joined the United World Security Council with violence and democracy, speaking softly and waving a big stick.